Welcome back to another episode of the Course Creation Incubator. I'm Gina Onativia, your host, your bulldog, your cheerleader, the person who's in your ear propelling you or hopefully motivating you to keep going with your course and your marketing. And hopefully I'm encouraging you to make changes happen, to put yourself out there, to build up your course-based business. Now, I'm also here to help you maximize your course marketing. And today, I want to talk about one of the hidden gems of marketing your course, your checkout page. Now, you see, the sales page, a lot of times it gets all the glory. Now, you get this beautiful sales video, gorgeous imagery, you get big headlines, and sometimes we spend so much time maximizing the sales page that by the time you get to the checkout, it's kind of an afterthought. I even had a course creator, this was a few years ago, who told me that she spent all this time on her sales page building out beautiful, beautiful section after section with this amazing imagery, great video, and then she even forgot about the checkout page. And then it was the eve of her launch, and she had to quickly put something together because it was such an afterthought for her. And I'm making the argument today that there's an opportunity there in terms of your checkout page that you can really maximize it to make it work for you in terms of conversions. So I'm going to walk through a couple of ways, a couple of hacks that I think could really empower you to make that checkout page work for you. Now, before I dive in, I do want to clarify, I want you to have a sales page. A simple one if you're just starting out. Now, my ride or die, Megan O'Leary, copywriter extraordinaire, who's been on this podcast multiple times, teaches a simple sales page formula as part of my 6-week accelerator. And I think it's absolutely brilliant because it takes all the overwhelm out of putting together your page. And that's exactly what I want for you. I want you to just put together the foundational components of what should be on a sales page. At this stage, especially if you're starting out, I don't want you overdoing your sales page and doing those huge long form ones that you're seeing bigger experts do. Do what's right for you. Keep it simple. Get it down to the simple pieces that you need in order to sell your course. And then once you've got your simple sales page, when they click to buy now or whatever your button's going to say, they go to the page where the student is actually enrolling. That's the checkout page. Now, I have seen some course creators who start out with just a checkout page. This is not ideal. You really want to deliver information about your course, the benefits, some headlines, hit them with the pain point or what the desire really is. And to do that, you really need a simple sales page to do that. So please, please don't just let your checkout suffice as your sales page. So you're going to have your simple sales page. You're going to click over to your checkout page. Now, for the purposes of this podcast, we're going to talk about that page where they actually enroll and put down their credit card. So let's talk about those hacks. First and foremost, I want you to have a seamless experience in terms of your sales page to your checkout page. So from your sales page, it's one click over to your checkout page, one. Because I've seen some sales pages where you've got to make multiple clicks. That's friction, folks. We don't want that. And a lot of times where this happens is when you have tiered pricing. In other words, you have multiple ways to buy your course and different packages. When you're first starting out, I just want you to be careful about tiered pricing and offering different packages, especially if you've never sold your course before. I like to always offer that one offer, and then you can build on that the second and third and fourth time you launch. I had one course creator who had 4 tiers when he was offering his course for the first time. And let me tell you, that checkout page was very confusing. So again, we want them to just click over once. We want it to be seamless. Another thing to look out for is make sure that your checkout page is on brand. Your colors match from your sales page. Your fonts match. If you don't have stock photos on your sales page, you surely don't have stock photos on your checkout page. You want to make sure it's a seamless experience. You want to make sure that if they're hot leads, they're ready to enroll, and you don't want to give them an excuse to say, maybe not now. You don't want to give them an excuse to get back on the fence. Second hack is about the form. You want to keep it as simple as possible. What do you really need? Their name, their email, billing address, credit card, that's it. Keep it simple. Depending on your program now, you might need intake forms. So I've got some wellness course creators who do intake forms. Susie Menkes, who I've had on the podcast, and Healthy Little Sleepers, she wants to hear from parents, but they always do it on the back end. Let them enroll first, and then on the thank you page or in the confirmation email, send out the survey. Keep the form as simple as possible. Then you're going to do everything else on the thank you or the email. Okay. That's number 2, keep the form simple. And then the third hack, offer as many credit card options as you can. I always try to offer Stripe and PayPal. You can throw out Venmo, Apple Pay. There are a lot of international options that you can throw out there, and that's always great. There are a ton of payment getaways, so choose the options that work for you. Give your user ease of access. If their cards are tied to these accounts, you're making it that much easier for them to buy your course as opposed to leaving where they are to go get their purse or their wallet so they can type in their cards. We don't want any hesitation when they are ready to buy. Along with that, offer payment plans. Really, any course over $400, I think, should have a payment plan, especially depending on who your audience is and what kind of course it is. And set up your payment plan so it's clear. When are they paying? How many payments, etc. And by the way, I recommend one payment plan. So you're going to have your full price, and then you'll have the one payment plan to go along with it. Fourth hack is to have some kind of chat functionality or a way for potential students to ask you questions in the moment. I touched on this briefly in episode 88, where I was talking about adding that personal touch to your launches. I have Drift, D-R-I-F-T. I have the free version of it. It's really great. And it enables me to have those conversations with students who are almost ready to buy, but just have that last final question. So I had one of my 6-week accelerator students. I've talked to many of my 6-week accelerators on chat, actually on Drift, probably about a third of them. And Billy actually says to me on chat, "Hey, is this really Gina?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's really me." It's not my customer service team. I have my team members do a lot for me, but they do different things. But I really get a lot out of chatting with my potential students. So I love to use Drift by myself. Plus, I have it on my phone. It's so easy just to interact. So if you ever click on the bottom right of one of my pages on my website, you get direct access to me for now, just FYI. So I love talking on Drift because I get all kinds of questions like, "Hey, here's my course idea. Do you think it's going to fly?" Or, "I don't have an audience yet. Do you think this is right for me?" Or, "Am I too early on in this process? It's just an idea." Or, "Am I too far down this process and this isn't going to be a great course for me?" Or I get some people who say, "Hey, can I get that bonus that I think expired?" So it's just these simple questions that people have about making sure that the course is right for them, or questions about I get questions about call times and how we're going to do the calls, how big is the group, things like that. People just want to make sure that this is the right time to buy. This is the right program to buy for them. And I think it's a great, great conversation to have with them. And it's so easy to do, especially when you have it embedded on your page. So make sure, if it's not Drift, there's a ton of chat bots out there. Just pick one, have it on your page. Make sure you can have that connection with your potential students. Okay, our fifth and final hack is to have testimonials on your checkout page. I think there's always an opportunity to reinforce the decision to buy. And one great way is to, of course, include your course benefits and a summary of what they'll get with the checkout page. And then I also want you to have quotes with results from past students or clients. That's a really powerful way for them to see, okay, great. I see more people have bought this course. They got a lot out of it. This is the right decision. Now, careful here. I don't want any videos or bells and whistles on your checkout, like nothing that's moving, nothing animated. I knew a course creator who had a video on their checkout page and they weren't converting as well. And I was like, get that dang video off there. And of course, conversion started to go up because it's just another excuse to get caught up, to watch this video, to walk away. Right? Once they're on the checkout page, we want to make sure we get them and convert them and make them students, okay? And then into raving fan ambassadors of your brand. All right, one last note, because you guys know I could always have one last note. Testing. Make sure to go through your sales page to your checkout and actually purchase your course and see what it's like. And try buying on your desktop and your phone to see if there are any bumps along the way before carts open. You don't want to give them an excuse to get back on the fence. I had one course creator who was a day and a half into her launch, and she asked me to check her sales page. She said, we're not converting at all. And when I clicked through her sales page, the checkout link wasn't working. So I said, you've got to update this immediately. This is why people can't buy from you. So it was a big mistake that she could correct a day in, but those are the kind of things that you want to test for to make sure everything is working smoothly. You test, have a team member test, have your family member test, make sure that the process is seamless and it's working for your potential student. And make sure you're keeping a pulse on your analytics. How many people are visiting your checkout page? How many are actually converting? How many went to the sales page and actually went over to the checkout page? I want you to keep an eye on your metrics as well. All right, hopefully this has convinced you to put some extra time into your checkout page and optimize it and really make it work for you. I'll see you next week where I'll have another great episode about course creation or marketing. And if you get a lot out of this podcast, I would love for you to leave me a review and then make sure that you're subscribed. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.